Whis is hands down the greatest martial artist in the universe. And I was actually on Instagram the other day and I saw a theory about how Whis has always been protecting Goku. Now, do I believe that to be 100% the truth? No, probably not, but it's always a cool idea, and it had me thinking. Goku has more or less trained with some of the greatest masters you could possibly think of, and has trained with some of the greatest beings you could possibly think of, but Whis is, hands down, bar none, the greatest of them all. So, what would have happened if instead of training with someone like Master Roshi, Kami, and so on and so forth, he's actually raised by Whis, the greatest martial artist in the entire universe? But of course, you're probably wondering, how would this even happen? Well, in my opinion, obviously there's no logical way of this actually occurring, but it's a what if, so let's have a little bit of fun with it. My idea behind this actually happening isn't necessarily Goku actually being sent to Beerus's planet. We know that is extremely far-fetched. So what I believed would kind of occur, or would be a cool way of occurring, is Beerus actually bringing up the fact that he wants a proper challenge, some sort of God that can stand in front of him and actually fight with him and actually give him a challenge. And Whis would bring up himself, of course, and him being far stronger than Beerus, but Beerus would say that he wants someone like a Saiyan, maybe a Saiyan God. Beerus would obviously slightly laugh about this revelation because he just had a massive dispute with King Vegeta and has now ordered them to all, die. So he kind of goes to bed not really thinking much about it. But in a way, this was orders to Whis to find a Saiyan God. So when Whis looks into his staff and goes searching for a Saiyan, he thinks to himself that there's not many he believes actually fits the bill. It actually comes down to two. One, a boy that is currently traveling through space as we speak and is about to arrive on a planet called Earth. And on top of that, another one by the name of Broly, who's on a secluded planet called Vampa. And he wants to keep tabs on this Broly on a secluded planet, but he begins watching the said Goku, or Kakarot in this version, and he watches him as he kind of lives with Grandpa Gohan just for a little bit, and he watches him when he bumps his head and so on. But eventually Grandpa Gohan would perish, and after Grandpa Gohan would perish, Whis would find this to be the perfect time to go snag Goku. He would decide that he would snag Goku in this regard because Goku wouldn't know what he did to his Grandpa Gohan, and he would decide that he could be the next figure for him, or the next figure for Goku himself. He would take Goku away, believing that whatever fate Earth has is nowhere near how Goku could be, and how important Goku could be to the grand scheme of the entire universe. But Whis has everything planned out, every last detail. Because when he takes the child, there is no hesitation with executing every part of Goku's life. When he takes him to Beerus's planet, he explains to Goku that his kind of life is different now, that it's going to be full of training and learning and understanding, but it's far greater than all of it. Goku immediately would think of his friends, what's going to happen to his family, what happened to his Grandpa Gohan. And Whis, being how Whis is, he wouldn't hide the fact that Grandpa Gohan was killed by Goku. And he would actually use this to more or less get Goku in the right space of mind. Use this to get Goku to understand that he needs to control this power that he has, and especially control the power once he begins to gain it at a rapid rate. And from here on out, Whis raises Goku. And everything that you can think of from the age that he is now to basically adulthood, Whis would teach him, would have him learn more and more, even proper etiquette Goku would learn, especially because he bumped his head, and now Whis is able to teach him at a blank slate. It's not some rowdy Saiyan, and this version of Goku is perfect to learn Ultra Instinct. I'm not saying Goku will have Ultra Instinct super early or anything like that, but he still would be a perfect blank slate to learn Ultra Instinct. Now, with that said, let's talk about what will occur with the other Saiyans and just normal Dragon Ball. What I believe is that Whis will utilize Goku's kind of past or Goku's relationship with Earth to more or less give him real world training. Yeah, so with Earth, not being completely screwed because Goku's actually going to be there to help them to a certain extent, Whis would more or less bring Goku over every so often when there is a actual event that needs to be kind of fixed or Goku needs to handle. For instance, King Piccolo or the arrival of someone like Raditz and so on and so forth. But everything outside of that, Goku wouldn't really be involved in. He would be taught that he only really has to be there for these major events. I mean, he would get a look at Raditz, easily defeat him, most likely take on Nappa and Vegeta to help, Earth itself, but come on, there's not much for Goku to do in terms of just raw strength and just getting stronger, because that's what really matters. What really matters is Goku getting stronger, understanding Ultra Instinct, and so on. All of his power is going to matter when he goes on and takes on Lord Beerus, and Whis knows this. And this version of Goku far supersedes any version that is all the way up until Dragon Ball Super. This Goku, raised by Whis, trained by Whis, understood and learned God Ki far earlier on, and frankly, there's nobody out there that can take him on. Like I said, Raditz, Vegeta, all of those are just cakewalks, and eventually he would be offered a fight with the one and only Frieza, and Frieza wouldn't even be someone that could take him on either. It wouldn't even be close. But with his inherently good side, he would not only defeat Frieza, he would be obviously forced to kill him, but luckily enough, Vegeta would see the end of the tyrant that was basically dominating and controlling the entirety of the Saiyan race, and the one that killed the majority of the Saiyan race as well. So luckily enough, the Saiyans, or most of them, that would even include Raditz, would be able to watch the fall of Frieza. Now, does that mean that they will be good people? Probably not. Goku's strength may be absolutely off the charts, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to translate to everyone else being a better person. Goku had the effect on them the same way their families would eventually have an effect on them. And we've seen that with Vegeta. Vegeta was affected by Earth, was affected by Goku, and was affected by Trunks and Bulma, but that was a long process. So I don't really think Raditz, Vegeta, and Nappa would even go down that process to a large extent. Now with Frieza handled, with most likely King Cold handled, the next thing would have to be Cell. And Cell would arguably be pretty darn strong just because he would have the DNA of Goku. But in all reality, even just the DNA of Goku, he would be considerably strong. But we all know there are limitations to what Dr. Gero is truly doing, or in my book, there really is. When we talk about Goku having God Ki, or more or less Beerus and Whis and stuff like that, I don't truly believe that little robots could really do the job to implement the DNA into Cell. And I don't think DNA is what really derives everything. DNA with Frieza was so beneficial because of how strong Frieza was right off the bat, how much potential he had. And it's the same thing with someone like Gohan. When you have the DNA of someone like Gohan who is half human, half Saiyan, their potential is limitless, or at least that's what it feels like. So that's why the potential helped him so much. but with a cell that lacks a lot of people's DNAs and really only has a Goku that is pretty darn strong, but a Goku that really hasn't been to Earth nowhere near as much as he would have been in canon, this fight isn't going to be fair to this version of Goku. This version of Goku most likely has awakened brand new powers, has awakened Super Saiyan God, and probably a power even beyond that, and is skating to eventually master the art of Ultra Instinct, or at least, attempt to master the art of Ultra Instinct. So when Goku would go heads up with Cell who's more or less there to take down their world, take down Earth, he really wouldn't stand as much of a chance as you would possibly believe. I mean, I guess if you want to kind of say, hey, the DNA of Whis arriving on Earth would be the reason why, I could see that argument. But at the end of the day, I truly believe that in terms of DNA and stuff like that, especially godly DNA like an angel, I just don't think just some little robot would be able to even handle that. I don't think some little robot would be able to implement DNA from an angel, a literal angel. But that's really just my opinion. Maybe you believe that he would have the DNA of an angel. And if that's the case, Cell's the strongest in the universe, and he's going to run it down on the entire universe until he absorbs everybody and probably just takes over everything until Zeno destroys everything eventually, when there's nothing left and the mortal level is complete garbage. But in this case, I'm gonna say that that's not the case. And Goku has a decent fight with Cell. A fight that gets him warmed up to the idea that there are people still out there that are pretty strong. But at this point, Goku has transcended almost everything. Super Saiyan Blue would be no question, and he'd probably even push farther past that, and in my opinion, most likely would have entered the godhood of Ultra Instinct, or really the realm of the angels. And it would be pretty remarkable how fast Goku would grow. I only say this in kind of a quicker succession, mainly because this Goku is literally Goku. It's not Kakarot. Kakarot, the more brutish, more Saiyan version of Goku, would have had, in my opinion, more trouble when learning Ultra Instinct. But since he went to Earth, hit his head, and then Whis took him and raised him as kind of this warrior that is eventually going to overtake Beerus, it's more or less an easier pathway to Ultra Instinct. And when I say easier, I don't mean easy by any means. We've seen that in the regular timeline, Goku struggles with trying to utilize and actually learn how to properly use Ultra Instinct. But that version of Goku is always going to be a better fit for Ultra Instinct than Kakarot. Kakarot is more brutish, like I said, more Saiyan at nature, but this Goku is more Earthling at nature, or more human at nature, even though he is not technically a human. Now, with all that said, when he takes on someone like Majin Buu, because that would happen in my opinion, I think Goku would eventually take on someone like Majin Buu just to test his strength. He would defeat him with relative ease. And the training that he has with Whis would get to the point where that's the only thing that truly matters. The training with Whis is the only way he starts and continues to grow, and unfortunately that's going to be the case until Beerus finally awakens, and he would awaken sooner rather than later. When Beerus would awaken, he would stand face to face with a brand new Saiyan warrior, a warrior that is unknown to him, but eventually he would know the name by the name of Son Goku. He would know the Saiyan that stands in front of him, the Saiyan that escaped the rule of Frieza because of his father Bardock, the Saiyan that was sent to Earth and eventually taken from that new home planet to be raised on the planet of a destroyer. Because once Beerus and Goku go head to head, it's obvious that Beerus is nowhere near the power of this adopted Saiyan. Beerus wanted this. He wanted a fight. He wanted someone that could contend with him, go head to head with him, but he didn't know that someone would be standing in front of him to take his job and take the true destroyer's job away from him. And what he doesn't know is that Whis separated both him and Supreme Kai for this fight. So when Goku transcends into the realm of Ultra Instinct, not Omen, but Ultra Instinct, activating an Ultra Instinct that is perfect for him, he would easily and swiftly defeat Beerus, killing him, taking over what truly was his job. Now, you might be wondering, why would Goku want to be the god of destruction? Well, this version of Goku is softer, nicer, so you could argue he doesn't want to be god of destruction. But in my opinion, Whis has taught him right from wrong, and he knows that what Beerus is doing is far from right, and he believes that he could do it far better. He wasn't necessarily raised on Earth. He wasn't necessarily on Earth for a long period of time. So his allegiance isn't necessarily to Earth itself. So he decides that he can have more of a beneficial outlook on the universe if he can actually affect the entirety of the universe. So once he's intertwined with Shin or with Supreme Kai, he's able to now become the god of destruction. He is able now to help the entire universe, and that's where the good nature and also just the fact that Goku is a good person because of the head bump is where everything falls in line. Goku will now proceed to help his universe raise their mortal level, exterminate and kill those who need to be defeated or killed or erased entirely or destroyed, making sure that everyone that is bad and horrible is cleansed, and helps the others that need kind of this uplifting from a godly figure. At the end of the day, there are some races out there on planet after planet, that is still far behind the 8-ball. They are so far behind the 8-ball that they need a little bit of a push. And if Goku is able to do that, the mortal level would continue to skyrocket. In my opinion, in this universe where Whis raises Goku, I said it before, he has seen multiple outcomes. He has seen multiple versions of where this could go. And there is no doubt in my mind, Whis being the intelligent mastermind he is, he was able to see that Goku would benefit this universe so that this universe wouldn't get erased. He realized that he is the attendant and he needs to be the guide, so why not guide a new god of destruction in the right way? Now, with Beerus' death, there may be a bit of a power struggle in terms of the one and only Champa, but a fight between Goku and Champa would never happen, and the main reason why is because destroyers will not and cannot fight. It is forbidden. It could fracture and destroy universes alike, and once kind of some static happens between them, it's all put to rest with Zeno. Zeno would have none of it, and he would see how good Goku is actually being for his own universe, and in a way side with Goku. But I would most likely see Champa most likely reviving Beerus, but even if he doesn't, Zeno would see Goku as the person, the god of destruction, that every single god of destruction needs to and should be. Shoot, maybe he even decides to go universe to universe, helping the mortal levels of every last one, but in my opinion, I think that might be a little too far-fetched. Let's worry about the universe that they stand in, that they live in first, and maybe they can go from there. But let's just say, off the top of my head, if Goku was raised by Whis, there is no doubt in my mind, no doubt that he would be the perfect god of destruction, the perfect being in terms of his goodness, the perfect being in terms of knowing right from wrong, and the perfect being in what the Omni King or Zeno or the Grand Priest would want in a god of destruction to lead the universe, to lead a universe that is under them. And that's just the facts in my opinion. Whis has created something that is going to benefit his universe for years, centuries, decades, whatever you want to say, to come. Tens of hundreds of thousands of years possibly to come, Goku will benefit their universe from planet to planet to planet. But with all that said, that is a wrap for the video. If you enjoyed What If Goku Was Raised by Whis, show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. If you made it to the end of the video, I don't think I said at the beginning, check the links in the description below. I have a Discord and also a Spotify that you can watch actually these what ifs, or listen to these what ifs, and also my other what ifs on my Golden What Ifs channel. With all that said, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like I said, I hope y'all leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Peace.